These are the new Normatec Elite wireless and hoseless compression boots. In today's video, I'm going to take a look at what comes with these out of the box. I'll talk about some of the specifications and features of them, and then I will show myself using them and providing some overall thoughts. So let's start by taking a look at what comes with these out of the box. So the first thing you see when you open the package is the boots themselves. This is what one of them looks like. You do get two of them. You see the obviously very unique pump built into them, which is the newest feature of the Elite, is that they have each of the pumps built right into the boot. There's no housing unit, there's no control unit, there's no hoses, there's no wires. So everything is battery powered, connected right to the boot. So you've got the Hyperice branding there on the control unit. You've got a power button, start stop button, level, time, zone boost. I'll talk about some of that in a little bit. You've got the Normatec branding stitched onto the side here, right here. And then you've got a zipper that runs down the shin of the boot all the way to the end. And there's some stitching that prevents that from being fully unzipped. You've got the Hyperice branding on the zipper there as well. Now, the material that these are made out of is the same as all the previous generations of the Normatec boots. So the Normatec 3 has the exact same boot, only you're not going to have this little housing unit on it. It's a really sturdy material. It is actually pretty comfortable as well. You sort of have this checkered pattern. I don't know if the camera is going to pick this up, but it's sort of this checkered X pattern that you have on it here. There is a difference between the left boot and the right boot. So the control unit is designed to be on the outside of your leg. So each of them are labeled with an R or an L. You do have these hooks on them, so easily hang them up if you want to. But overall, it's pretty much the exact same boot as all their previous generations in terms of fabric, design, layout, everything like that. The boot themselves has 5 different zones. So you're gonna have a zone in your foot, in your calf, one over the knee, and then a lower thigh and an upper thigh. All those zones or chambers are overlapping. So as one fills up, there's no gap in between them, so it's sort of gapless compression. And they do come in 3 different sizes. So I have the standard size here. I'm 5'9". I believe this boot goes all the way up to 6 foot is what it's recommended for, but they do have a sizing chart that you can look at on their website. It makes it really easy to decide which ones might be the best for you. But that is what the boot looks like. The next thing that you get in the box is a small drawstring pouch. So nothing special here, just your standard drawstring pouch. It's made out of the same exact material as the boots themselves. There's a zippered compartment on the front of it for you to put your charger or anything else that you want in there. But they all easily fit inside this. But pretty simple when it comes to the case for it. The next thing you get is the charging cord. So they are battery powered. The charging cord is quite long. And the unique thing about it is that it actually has a split in it, so you can charge both of the boots at the same time. In order to do that, you just take a little cord here and plug it into the bottom of the control unit or the battery on each boot. So just like that, super easy. You can charge them both at the same time. It does take about 5 hours to fully charge these. When I got them out of the box, they were fully charged already. And then the last thing you get is just some paperwork. So you've got a quick start guide. You've got 2 stickers, a black sticker and a white sticker, and then you have just sort of your specifications and warning guide. So pretty simple and straightforward to use. I did just read through it quickly, but it was really easy to just turn them on and figure out how to use it on my own. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and put the boots on now, show you how to put them on, and then I'll talk about some of the specifications and features as I'm going through the first use of them. So with these compression boots and all compression boots, you wanna make sure that you're wearing something comfortable, either shorts or sweatpants. You don't wanna have zippers or buttons or bunched up fabric, anything like that. So make sure you're wearing something comfortable just to make sure you don't get anything pinched against your skin while you are using them. Now, they can be put on 2 different ways. So you can pull it on like a pair of pants with my right leg here, which is what I'll do. Or you can fully unzip it down to the toe and place your leg inside and then zip it back up. So whatever your preference is, my preference tends to be just to slide them on. I think it's quicker, I think it's easier. In terms of a fit, you want to make sure that your heel is down as far as it can go. Your foot shouldn't necessarily be hanging out of the end. They're pretty well designed that it doesn't need to do that, but you want to make sure they're pulled up as far as they can go. If they're a little bit too long, you can unzip it. Just to make sure that you're not pinching anything there with having it too high or not having it fully covered. Now, when you're ready to go, these do actually sync together. Hyperice has the technology on these called HyperSync technology. So both of these are automatically going to be paired together already from the get-go out of the box. But if you want to unpair them, you can. If you want to only wear one of them, you can. So you don't need to turn them both on. But as soon as you turn them both on, the power button is located on the side here. You just press and hold that. And same thing at this one, press and hold that. And then there's a few different things to look at on the actual control unit. So you've got the level, the time, zone boost, and then a start stop button. So the level is going to be 7 different pressure zones ranging from 30 all the way 110 millimeters of mercury. That's just the pressure zones of that. So you can start between 1 to 7 there. 7 is going to be the highest. And the time, you have 15-minute intervals from 15 minutes all the way up to 60. I'm going to go ahead and just leave it at 15 minutes for the purpose of this one. And then the zone boost, that's a feature that Normatec has on a lot of their boots. Basically, that's going to add 60 seconds of pressure at an increased pressure of 10 millimeters of mercury higher for that one specific zone. So when you press that button, it just cycles through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 is going to be the foot, 5 is going to be the upper thigh. So you can just choose which zone you want to boost, but you can only boost one zone at a time. And then your start stop button, which is just going to go ahead and start the routine. With these, I tend to prefer the higher pressure, so I'm going to leave mine at 7. I'm going to leave it at 15 minutes. I'm not going to zone boost at all. And I'm going to go ahead and just make sure that they're both set up the same. And when I hit start, they will both start pumping right away. Now, as these start to pump, something I'll talk about is the foot is what I like to call a 3-chamber or a triangle design. So you're going to have air inflating on both sides of the feet as well as the bottom of the foot, sort of in a triangle pattern there. So makes it a little extra comfortable compared to some other boots, which are just a 2-chamber design, which is on either side. You don't have that flat part on the bottom. Now, what this is going to do, Hyperice has a routine that they call the pre-fill or the pre-inflate. So it's going to slightly inflate the entire boot. And then once that's done, sort of that initial fill, then really is when the routine will start. So it's going to slightly inflate, I'll call it 75% of the way in each chamber all the way up. And then once it's done that, then it'll actually start the routine. So this whole cycle, the pre-inflate cycle, takes about 2 minutes and 40 seconds. So it is a little bit of a slow process initially just getting started. But once it's filled, it does make that next cycle quite a bit faster. So after that 2 minutes and 40 seconds, you're going to be looking at about 4 minutes and 20 seconds for each individual routine there. So this very first cycle from pre-inflate through the full cycle is going to take about 7 minutes. So with 15 minutes, that first one's going to be 7, and then 4 minutes after that, you're going to get basically 3 cycles in a 15-minute span initially. So what I'm feeling now is just it's about 75% filled all the way up through the knees. It's now filling the 4th chamber, which is my lower thigh. And you can hear the noise. It's not anything loud by any means. I would compare it to like the fan on a laptop when a laptop starts to get really warm. Really quite quiet overall. The boots feel really, really comfortable. It's a nice gentle squeeze. It's slowly moving up. And as it's doing that, I guess I'll talk about the purpose of these is to help with your circulation. It's helped move fluids. So designed initially in the medical space to help move lymphatic fluid, but it's going to help with just improving your circulation temporarily. It's just going to sort of drive everything back to your core. It can help you with warm-up. It can help you with recovery. Certainly do your research if you're curious about those things specifically. But again, really comfortable feel. As it does get up to the core, you get a nice like squeeze and you can actually sort of feel everything coming back to you. So this is almost done with the pre-inflate. What it's going to do then, it's going to start with the foot. And this is sort of the only pattern that these boots do. There's not multiple patterns to choose from, but it's going to start with the foot and it's going to basically pulse. So it'll fill it up, it'll deflate for a second, it'll fill it up, it'll deflate for a second, and then eventually it will hold. And once it holds, it'll move on to the next chamber and start that inflate and deflate pulse again in the next chamber. It'll do that for 3 chambers at a time. Once it gets to filled at my knee, it will deflate the foot and then move up just to the calf, the knee, and the lower thigh. So super relaxing. Once you have them on, it's just really, really a great feeling, especially after a hard workout or if you're on your feet a lot or if you travel. I fly a lot, so I love wearing these after I fly. I absolutely love that there's no cords or wires. This is going to make it much more portable. You don't need to be near an outlet. Really, this is their direct competitor to the Therabody Jet boots, which I am going to be doing a video comparing those two. I'm excited to see how they stack up side by side. See if I can talk about anything else while these are filling up. They weigh 3.2 pounds each, so not anything super heavy, but obviously most of the weight is just in this little pump and housing unit. The boot themselves just being fabric doesn't really weigh much at all. There is a Bluetooth app that you can connect these to. Again, these just came out yesterday. I got them today. There's nothing in the app. I can find the device in the app, but there are no routines. There's nothing in there. Pretty common for these types of devices when I review them right away. The app just isn't ready to roll out yet. So I imagine that they will have the same routines that they have for their Normatec 3 or their other versions of these boots, because there's a few different routines in there for like a nighttime routine, a recovery routine. So I would imagine you'll have the same exact routines that you'll be able to choose in the app, and it'll actually connect via Bluetooth and control everything with the app. Until then, you do have to just use the housing unit on here. They are currently priced at $999. They come with a 1-year warranty. They are TSA approved as a carry-on. So what just happened here is it's deflating my foot now, and it's holding these 3 chambers, like I mentioned earlier. So the calf, the knee, and then my lower thigh. It's just deflating the foot a little bit. Once it does that, it'll continue to pump the rest here. And again, it's been about 6 minutes so far in this routine since I started, about 5.5 actually. So now it's filling this last section, and this is just a really gentle, comfortable squeeze. Almost compare it to like squeezing a tube of toothpaste. If you were to run your hands up along it, think of the fluid in the toothpaste as the fluid in your legs, all squeezing back towards your core. Anyways, that's just a quick overview of the routine. I am gonna go ahead and just stop it here. As soon as I stop it, it starts to deflate. There's no active deflate, so they recommend that you wait about 15 seconds to let it deflate a little bit before you actually try to pull your legs out. Because it doesn't actively deflate, you do pretty much have to unzip them if you're trying to take them off right away. You can't just pull them off like you pulled them on. So I usually wait 10-15 seconds, and I unzip it down to my ankles and then pull my feet out. So I'll do that here in a second, and then I'm gonna talk about some of my overall thoughts after using these a few different times, and just general thoughts on the layout of the technology that's built into these. So let's unzip. So that's just a very quick overview of what these look like, what they're capable of doing. Some things that I really like about them: I love how portable they are. I love how you don't need to be near an outlet. That's the huge disadvantage of all the previous generations. That's really what Therabody was striving for when they came out with their Jet boot. That's a different video, some things I don't like about that product, but I love the comfort of them. I love the feel of them. I love that it's got the 3-chamber design here. I think that's great how much they weigh. I think 6 pounds in total is not a lot to have to carry if you're gonna travel with these. I do wish that there was more than one pattern that you could choose from other than just sort of their standard pulsing pattern. I wish the case was a little bit more robust. Just getting a little pouch like this that probably cost them 50 cents to make. I'd rather have like a backpack or something a little bit nicer, especially given the price of these. So just something nitpicky there, but I do like that they do at least include something. Some of their previous generations included nothing, so to at least have something is nice. I wish they inflated a lot faster. It is really quite frustrating to have to wait 7 minutes for that first routine. I do think that they could probably just go ahead and start pumping and filling right away, and it would be faster, but it's a decision they've made. It's always been sort of that way with their product. They've always had that pre-fill through the entire boot before you actually start the routine. So I personally don't love it. I think the other products that are out there fill faster, but that's just one negative that I wish they would improve with these. And then lastly, again, something nitpicky that I say this pretty much about every compression boot except for the one company that has it, but I do wish there was some sort of active deflate. You see it's been several minutes here and there's still air inside of these. So if I wanted to pack them up, I really couldn't yet, or I'd have to manually squeeze and try to force all the air out of them. Otherwise, you pretty much have to wait like 5 to 10 minutes for these to be completely deflated on their own. So if there was some sort of active deflate, you just reverse the pump on this and suck all the air out. I think of sort of like an air mattress, how you have the capability to do that on some of them. It would just make it a lot easier and a lot more convenient for packing up when you're done with your routine. But otherwise, I'm super impressed with these. I think these are the best Normatec boots that are out there. I do think the price point is a little bit high. I think you could probably come down a couple $100s of these and it would be a really, really competitive product for the price point. But I like these better than the Normatec 3s. I'm really impressed with how powerful they are with this pump on it. I was really not quite sure if it was going to be super, super slow because this is really not that big of a unit on it. I mean, I'm putting my hand over the whole thing here. So really, if you have questions about these, go ahead, drop it in the comments down below. I will do my best to answer those. Like I mentioned, I do plan to do a video comparing these to the Therabody Jet boots. So stay tuned for that video. Otherwise, that is the Normatec Elite. That's a review. Enjoy your recovery.